Hello there, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this. I am the CHALL and today Chall Chats MK Dons. We're going to be going through their two loan signings that have been announced over the last 24 hours. Filip Marschall from Aston Villa and probably the most surprising one out of the two, especially considering how good he is, Lewis Bate from Leeds. Now then, before we get started with all of that, you're probably thinking, why have I worn my dressing gown over my Chall Chats hoodie? Well, since we're in the studio today, all day today, and because of the Bradford postponement, the Barnet postponement, we are going to be reviewing Arsenal Crystal Palace. That review will be coming online this afternoon from the early kickoff in the Premier League. We are still looking for something to fill the evening slot. I think I might have found it. I think the Milwaukee Bucks are playing today in the NBA. So for all of you basketball fans, we'll try and get that sorted as well. There is still a few we're considering at the same time. Now then, before we get started with all of this, please do go check out the rest of the content because, as we said, we're going to be in the studio all day today. Plenty of content. We've got another video coming on this morning from Exeter City, so stay tuned for that one. Early afternoon, end of morning, that kind of upload time for that one. But before we get started with any of all that, we also have other content coming up for the rest of this week. The Reading video will be up tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. That is the latest edition of the Chall Chats podcast to go along with the Swindon Town episode. So stay tuned for that. Obviously, you'll have seen, if you've seen the updated players, that we have officially put the Swindon Town episode on the Chall Chats podcast, along with the Dorney Park interview. So you'll see we've got a range of stuff on there. We're going to start to build that podcast up with numerous different club interviews, different ex-player interviews, manager interviews, journalist interviews. It's going to form one big Chall Chats podcast playlist, along with it being part of individual club playlists. Because obviously, you see with the Swindon Town episode, that's part of two playlists: Chall Chats podcasts and Chall Chats Swindon Town. So this will be part of Chall Chats MK Dons as a news update. However, any MK Dons interviews that happens on the channel will also be part of the podcast as well, ergo Exeter and other teams around sports as well. So then, before we get started, we are on the road to 3,000 subscribers and 500,000 views. We are all about news, reviews, and interviews from the world of sport. So please, 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 let's get some support on this channel going as much as possible. And also, finally, before we get started, I want to say a massive thank you to you all for 2.8k followers on Twitter. We are nearly at 3,000 on Twitter, which is just unbelievable. If Twitter are listening to this, I'd love a blue tick. And for now, guys, let's get straight into this one. And let's talk about the two loan deals over the last 24 hours over at Stadium MK. So then let's get started, first of all, with the young goalkeeper, Filip Marschall. And I really like this signing. So we're going to read off the club's website first and then go on about my thoughts about each individual player. So let's start off with Marschall. So it's MK Don's 3rd January signing before Lewis Bate became number 4. As young Aston Villa goalkeeper, Filip Marschall puts pen to paper on a loan deal till the end of the season, pretty much. Now, he rejoins Williamson in the staff for the 3rd time in his senior career so far. His first loan move into senior football saw the young goalkeeper gain Gateshead experience under the head coach Mike Williamson, who's now, of course, MK Don's head coach, earning promotion from the National League North during his initial loan spell from the Birmingham-based side. On loan from Premier League outfit Aston Villa, Marschall said this about signing terms with MK Dons. He said, "I'm really excited to be here. It's a great club, and I've heard good things from players that have been here previously. I'm a goalkeeper that likes to use my feet a lot, and I play football. It's been the same for me throughout my time at Aston Villa and Gateshead. I like to play out from the back, and I know Mike Busty, which is Ian Watson, and Belly, Chris Bell, like to do the same here." So for those of you MK Dons fans, what are you getting with Filip Marschall? And I've made some notes here because I've done my own sort of analysis on Filip Marschall because he was on my kind of loan list initially, my long loan list for January or the summer. And then obviously we shortened the positions down and, goalkeeper wasn't for me a priority in January. So he comfortably plays out from the back, consistently on form most weeks, a very consistent, very efficient goalkeeper. Demands his box and commands his areas very well. An efficient shot stopper operates in a sweeper keeper role as well. So he's the kind of perfect Mike Williamson goalkeeper, especially with the previous experience as well. So this is a perfect deal for MK Dons. I think you've got a really good, efficient young keeper here. Of course, this paved the way for Craig McGillivray to exit on loan to Stevenage in League One. I've got a feeling that'll be permanent in the summer, in my personal opinion. So McGillivray will end up going to Stevenage as a permanent in the summer anyway. But for now, it is a loan deal to the end of the season. So McGillivray is, for the rest of the season, a Stevenage player to allow Marschall to come into the end of the season, and I'm sure MK Dons will reevaluate the situation of the goalkeeper in the summer whether McGillivray stays or Marschall comes in on permanent potentially. I don't think that'll be the case because Aston Villa will rate him very, very highly with what he's done at Gateshead and what he's, in my opinion, expects to do at MK Dons. So I think MK Dons will look for a similar type of keeper to Marschall in the summer, and I think they'll allow probably McGillivray to go permanent in the summer, but that's just my opinion, nothing confirmed. And I think they've got a really good player. Now then, what about the second signing? Now, this one surprised a lot of people with how good he is and the fact that it's a League Two loan. People were expecting a League One loan for this guy. And I was probably one of them, in my personal opinion. This is nothing against MK Dons, but I was expecting Lewis Bate to go out to League One as soon as it was announced that, you know, that they were looking to probably loan him out, Leeds United. So this surprised me more than anyone else. But take nothing away from MK Dons' recruitment. That just shows the pulling power of Mike Williamson and what the club's doing under him at the moment. So then, it's time to analyse Lewis Bate. So he is the fourth signing of the window. He signs on loan till the end of the season. And of course, as usual with these deals, subject to league and FA clearance, which shouldn't be a problem. Before signing permanently for Leeds, he came through the Chelsea youth system when he impressed enough to earn a spot on the bench for the men's first team on 3 separate occasions. He moved to Leeds United in July 2021 when he joined Leeds under the management of Marcelo Bielsa. I believe the move was £1.5 million at the time. So, again, a big transfer there. He signed the second senior loan deal of his career so far after enjoying a short spell previously at Oxford, where he was announced as a number of 35 appearances for the League One outfit throughout last season. He said, "I'm excited to be here and get going." He said, "I had discussions with Mike and the staff before I joined about how the system and style of play can benefit me both as a player and the team too. So I was sold on that." And that's been a big pulling trait here for Mike Williamson. His style of football is very team-based, very fluent possession-based. When it doesn't work, it's very passive and can be caught off very, very easily. But when Mike, and that was against us, by the way, but when Mike Williamson gets it spot on, it is beautiful to watch, and I'm sure he can do it more often. And MK Dons, and I'll speak about MK Dons next season, but I think they're going to be a real threat next season in League Two. And this season, obviously, as well. He said, "Whilst I'm here, I'm looking to develop more as a player. But I think the main goal for me is to get promoted with MK Dons. There's no shying away from that. That is the goal." So what kind of player are you guys getting, MK Dons fans? Well, he's a strong passer, a great dribbler, fluent in the system, adaptable in defensive and attacking positions in the central midfield. And he's got the strong ability to control the ball, control the tempo of the game, control the flow, and control the transition from defense to attack. He's very strong in his ball control as well. So he's very much a control the tempo player, and he's fluent in the system that he's going to play. And for me, I think Lewis Bate is a very, very smart signing by MK Dons. I think it's one of the highlight loans for League Two, in my personal opinion. Now, I spoke about MK Dons being a potential threat next season. Obviously, let's speak about this season, because this season they're in a playoff push, so they are a threat in this league. No shying away from that. If they don't go up this season, and MK Dons fans, please listen to me when I say this. If you don't go up this season, it's not the end of the world. Because in my personal opinion, and this may be an early prediction, a very early prediction, I think you are one of, potentially, depending how the summer goes, the title favourites next season. I believe you are, at the very least, one of the automatic promotion favourites next season if you don't go up this year through the playoffs. I don't think you'll get automatics this year. That's not being harsh. That's just being honest. I think Stockport, Barrow, Wrexham, Mansfield are in that mix. Obviously, everyone's still technically in that mix. But you get what I'm saying. Like, you're not one of the out-and-out favourites to be automatically promoted this year. But don't let it fool you. If you get playoffs this year and you don't reach the final, you lose the final, there's no shame in that, because you've done brilliantly from where you were at the end of last season, when Winkelman was having to go at the fans in the parking lot, and there was all that tussle with the fans, and it felt like a very negative season. To turn it around so quickly, yes, Graham Alexander did go so well, but then to turn it around from that, when you brought in Graham Alexander and it didn't end up working, and then straight from that, in comes Mike Williamson and turns your season around, my goodness me, that shows real bottle and that shows real courage. So if you don't go up this year through the playoffs, don't let it be the end of the world. You are, in my opinion, one of the automatic promotion favourites early next season, depending how the summer goes. If Mike Williamson leaves, which I don't think he's going to do, then that might change things. But he'll not do that. Mark Williamson is not going anywhere before anyone says anything. Williamson will not go anywhere. He will stay at MK Dons, and he will push you to a brilliant finish next season, regardless whether you go up this season or not. So, two great signings. MK Dons on a roll right now. Third and fourth through the door. Will the fifth be next? I'm not too sure. But add that to the two signings they've made already. Karen Lofthouse on loan from Barnsley, and Stephen Wynn from Gateshead, who, by the way, I had on my January list. He's a brilliant player. Lofthouse, pacey, fluent, controls the flanks very, very well. Brilliant. Again, just brilliant signings all around. So MK Dons for me are really shining in this window, and they're really adding that extra quality on what they've already got in that squad. So for me, I think that MK Dons are a real threat, and I think they're going to be a real threat next season as well. But there we go, guys. Thank you very, very much for watching this video. Please show you like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell to never YouTube video. Got another video coming out from Exeter City, so stay tuned for that. And for now, I am the CHALL. Ta-ra for now.